fuck are you doing if you're not trying shit?
I don't know. People afraid to try things. They afraid of judgment. That's why, I think you're afraid to be judged to put whipped cream on yourself.
No,
but
it
might actually be.
I don't think it's gonna work for me though, so I'm not gonna do that.
But that's how most people think though. They think that like YouTube ain't gonna be for me, so I'm just not gonna try it.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't have to try things you don't think are for you. Try things you think are for you. Like when I was in high school.
What?
Like when I was in high school, I created content, right? I sat there and edited people's montages in Call of Duty. Did that for years. I did some commentary shit. I joined random film competitions. I volunteered as different roles all around the city on random events, and I just found out the things I really enjoyed doing. Turns out shooting videos and playing video games is the top two. And it just so happens I do both of those every day now. But it's like that. I knew that because I tried shit out. A lot of people just did the same thing, or maybe like they just wasted their time having fun, which, believe it or not, is a waste of time sometimes. Because you think like, oh, the whole point of life is to have fun, so why would I not be having fun? But it's like when you look at the people that feel the most content and accomplished in life, is the people that exhibit the most discipline. And the thing about discipline is you have to restrict yourself from trying things that you know you're gonna like. I know I'm gonna like Popeyes, but I can't do it. It's about having discipline. And I didn't have it for a long time, which is why I gained all the fucking weight. So isn't it so interesting? You had to try things, but people refuse to try things because they're too busy. I think the real key is getting distracted. Because that's really what it is when you're having fun, is you're being distracted.
No, I think people are just afraid to fail. I think that's it.
I don't think
people
that's
are. No, I think that plays.
That's probably part of it. Yeah.
I think that plays a bigger part than what you think it is. Because I think in just in general that they don't want to be perceived as a failure, and they don't want to.
Okay, I see that.
Perceive.
But I think that's when you're younger, though. Like in high school, I probably felt.
That's it. That's when you.
But I joined film competitions, and like it would be a 48-hour film comp, and we did not sleep. We would in the snow, trekking through the snow, dealing with all our problems. We put the film together. It was horrible, but we played it for the theater, and the only person clapping was my mom. So we knew that shit was ass. But like, it's like, okay, and then I realized, okay, maybe that's not my thing. As much as I love shooting videos, maybe that's not or maybe I just have to get better at it. I don't think it's fear of failure, though. Maybe that's part. I think that
definitely plays part in it. That definitely plays a part.
Maybe it's because it didn't play a big part in my life. Because I feel that plenty of shit. I feel so often that if I was afraid of it, I would have just stopped trying a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I still think that plays a bigger part in it than people just trying to be content. Because I'll say this, people who actually think that they're having fun doing the things that they're doing, they're not really having that much fun. They're not actually like taking full advantage of it because there's still limitations of what you can or can't do because you haven't succeeded enough to actually fully enjoy yourself.
Facts.
So you're not really like the night or two that you go out and you budget yourself before you even go out because you don't even have no money.
That's crazy. Keep going.
That is
budgeting.
Crazy.
Imagine if I left today and I had to budget like what I could spend.
But people live like that.
To me. I never had to live like that. And after I was like 18.
Oh well, he ain't never struggled.
Actually, no.
He ain't never struggled.
After I was 20. Because I was in a lot of debt, and so when you were living off of loans, you have to budget. But I also wasn't going out, so it wasn't like I was like, all right, I'm gonna be reckless, but I only have $100. It's like I was just buying microphones and shit.
Yeah, but like people just like even in them thinking that they're having like the time of their lives.
Are they?
They're still restricting on what they can or can't do because they haven't actually succeeded in anything. That's why I like throughout your 20s anyway, it should be a time of trial because you're just trying to figure out who you are anyway. So you should try different things and understand who you are, which is why like I think the reason why I go back to the whole failure thing is because people don't want to just admit that they are flawed as individuals. Like people are afraid to accept their flaws and failures, and so they're trying to reach this ideal world of perfection even if it's not all the way there yet. And so if they can just fake it, they think that that's going to be sufficient enough.
Sometimes it is.
Really. But I feel like that's just like the whole Instagram. I think that's what Instagram is. I think that's what social media is a lot of times. It's just people just trying to fake it. And so there's no way that you can. There's nothing to show off, and there's nothing to actually fake if you actually working.
Facts.
So like people don't understand that concept. Like everybody wants to be a YouTuber or NFL football. No, wait. No, this is what I'm saying. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber. They wants to be a basketball player. They want to be a rapper, but they don't want to put the time in it actually takes to get to that point. Like just like the image of it. And so if that's what they can achieve, that's what they want to. But they don't want to fail in the process of getting there because again, they don't like that whole process of being deemed as that. And the only reason why they don't understand what it actually takes is because, again, everything that they see is just the finished product or whatever is perceived to be the finished product on all social media platforms in a way that they perceive other people's lives to be. Because through some people's lens, what being a YouTuber is the actual finished content that's on YouTube. But they don't actually understand what goes on behind it in all of the years that even got to the point to where you're sufficient enough at it to where you can be able to upload competent content consistently. But it still goes to just back to people not trying to do things and understand that you're going to fail at things because you're a flawed individual and you just don't want to accept it.
It's not that you are flawed, but I don't think that's the reason why you're failing. You're failing because you're not competent. Like,
you have to have flaws.
You have to develop the skill, my guy. You don't just start with the skill. Shroud is probably the only person that starts with the skill. He could just pick up a game and be fantastic.
But again, in some regards, you're flawed. Being flawed is okay. Like you said, you just work on it. You just work on it. Yeah, you just work on it.
I think it's interesting that a lot of people look at me, especially through university. I tell people I never drank in my life. I never smoked in my life. And
drinking is pointless. I don't drink either.
I think both of it is pointless, unless you need it for medical reasons. I think that when I tell people that, they immediately think like, "Oh, you must have like a very boring life," but it's like you have no idea how fun it is to wake up and that morning when I wake up, I could be like, "I'm taking today off," or I could just spend the day drifting in my M4, or I can go out and there's no store I can walk into that I can't just get whatever I want. That's a freedom that the only reason I earned was because I had the discipline in the last 8-9 years of my life to say no to all the parties. There's like, are you going to the party tonight? Nah, I'm not going.
I thought you were about to say just wake up and not have a hangover, because that's also...
But it's like, it's interesting that when people see that you had the discipline to sacrifice all the things you needed to get to wherever you're at in your life, they immediately presume that, oh, you must be missing something because you didn't have all those fun experiences they had on all those nights they spent out with their friends. But it's like, no, every day I wake up, I'm happy. I don't have to go out to be happy. And I think that the times in my life where I'm most productive and I demonstrate elite levels of discipline, I go to sleep so fucking grateful and happy that it amazes me. Like, to the point where I even start to question whether or not I deserve to feel like that. Don't you ever do that sometimes? Like, I don't. Because I've been to Ethiopia, and I'm like, some of these guys will never have the opportunities. No, not some. None of those guys is ever going to have the opportunity to grow up in Canada with a house that had internet. That's the opportunity I had, and that's why I even had a chance to blow up on YouTube.
But it's just because, again, they don't perceive, that's not how they perceive having a good time, because that shit is not on, it's not shown to them. So they don't understand that that's the concept of how to even get to that point. So what you're saying is lunacy to them, but in reality is that's just how things actually just work in real life. Like they say, like another extreme is like what are those things called? People put them out veneers. Like people are trying to like obtain something that's not realistic. Like your teeth should never look that straight, that white, but they're trying to fake something that's just not real. Yeah. So like in their mind though, everyone is just trying to reach this level of perfection without understanding what it takes to get to a actual lifestyle that's worth actually posting on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't actually understand the process of it. So instead of them going through it, you're shaving their fucking teeth down and putting in veneers in them.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So that's like, it's just like you're faking things to try to equate to happiness when in reality it's not true.